Do I have within me the soul of a slave or the soul of a free man? A free man, that's what I chose to be. These powerful words, spoken by Dabasir as he stood alone in the desert, changed his life forever. At that moment, something ignited within him, setting him on a path from despair to destiny. If you have ever felt entrapped by your circumstances, particularly dead, then this story might be the inspiration you need. Hi, I'm Nadeem, and in this channel we review books about personal growth and self-improvement. And unlike other videos where we summarize and explain multiple chapters at once, in today's video we will dive deep into just one, which is chapter 9, The Camel Trader of Babylon. The hungrier one becomes, the clearer one's mind works. Also, the more sensitive one becomes to the odors of food. This chapter begins with a quote that captures the struggle and the clarity that come with true hunger, both for food and for freedom. Our story starts with a young man named Tarkat, who stands outside a busy restaurant. His stomach is empty and he is desperately hoping to find a friend who might buy him a meal. But fate has a different plan. Instead, he runs into a man named Dabasir, a rich trader whom he owes money. As Dabasir confronts him about his debt, he replies by saying that, "I don't have the money right now to repay because I'm pursued by ill fortune." To this, Dabasir replies with a great lesson. Don't blame the gods for your own weakness. Ill fortune pursues every man that thinks more of borrowing than of repaying. Instead of scolding Tarkad, Dabasir offers to tell him a story while they sit in the restaurant. A story that might change his life. As people gather around in the restaurant, drawn by Dabasir's reputation as a storyteller, he begins by saying, "I once was a slave in Syria." This isn't just a story. It's a tale of survival, courage, and transformation. Dabasir was once a saddle maker who lived well and spent freely. He borrowed more than he could repay, spending lavishly on food, fine clothes, and buying gifts for his wife, all while ignoring the debts piling up. For a while, all went well. But after some time, he had no money left to live upon or to pay his creditors. His wife also returned to her father's home, and because of all these hardships, he decided to leave Babylon. He fell in with a band of thieves, and one day when they tried to loot a caravan, they were captured by the royal guards of the caravan, and he was sold as a slave to a Syrian desert chief. At first, everything seemed normal, until his master took him before his four wives and told them they can have him as a eunuch. So, eunuch is basically an ancient term. In the old times, when the rich and the powerful people wanted to hire a guard or a slave for their women, the guard was first physically altered in a way that he couldn't have children. This way he was trusted around the women in the household. The wives mocked him and made fun of his situation. But after some time, the eldest wife, Sira, told her husband that we have many eunuchs, but we don't have a good camel tender. To this, Dabasi replies, "I know pretty much everything about camels, like how to make them kneel, how to load them, and how to lead them for long trips without getting tired." Impressed with this, his master tells him to lead Sira's camel as she has to visit her sick mother. Along the journey, Dabasir shares his past with Sira, telling her that I was not a slave by birth. I was once a free man, an honorable saddle maker of Babylon. But to this, Sira responds in an unexpected way, saying, "How can you call yourself a man when your weakness has brought you to this? If a man has in himself the soul of a slave, will he not become one no matter what his birth, even as water seeks its level? If a man has within him the soul of a free man, will he not be respected and honored in his own stead, in spite of his misfortune?" These words ignited something within him, but it took time and introspection to realize what they truly meant. He worked there as a slave for over a year, and one night, when all the other slaves were sitting together and gossiping, Dabasir sat alone in his tent, and when Sira saw this, she asked him about it, to which he responded by saying, "I am pondering what you have said to me. I wonder if I have the soul of a slave. I cannot join them, so I must sit apart." And after this, they again have a short conversation about whether he has the soul of a slave or a soul of a free man. And at the end of the conversation, Sira replies him with a great lesson, saying, "Does not your king fight his enemies in every way he can, with every force he has? Your debts are your enemies. They ran you out of Babylon. You left them alone, and they grew too strong for you. If you had fought them as a man, you could have conquered them and been one honored among the townspeople. But you had not the soul to fight them, and behold, your pride had gone down until you are a slave in Syria." The next morning, Sira comes saying that she has to visit her sick mother again, but this time she takes along 2 camels and a lot of food. And upon reaching her mother, she asks him that if he really has the soul of a free man. Dabasir agrees, and she tells him, "Then this is your chance. Take these 2 camels and the food and make your escape." And after a short conversation, Dabasir leaves while thanking her. But this was only the beginning of his journey. The food and the water didn't last longer, and he had to face days in the unforgiving desert without food or water, near death. After traveling continuously for 9 days and nights, he falls from his camel, slowly losing his conscience. And facing this almost near death experience, for the last time he has this question in his mind: "Do I have within me the soul of a free man or the soul of a slave?" Then, with clearness, I realized that if I had the soul of a slave, I should give up, lie down in the desert, and die, a fitting end for a runaway slave. But if I had the soul of a free man, what then? Surely I would force my way back to Babylon, repay the people who had trusted me, bring happiness to my wife who truly loved me, and bring peace and contentment to my parents. With this newfound resolve, the Basir understood that his debts were his true enemies. He had fled Babylon, letting his debts grow unchecked. But now that he had felt the soul of a free man burning inside him, he resolved to return to Babylon to repay every debt and to reclaim his honor. When he returned Babylon, he faced his creditors one by one, promising to repay them. It was not easy, but his perseverance brought him the respect of the city. And one of his creditors was Mathan, the gold lender of Babylon, about whom we talked in the last video. Mathan not only agreed to the plan of repaying, but also offered help. He asked him that if you really have a good knowledge of camels, then why not join me and help me choose some good camels for the king? And using his knowledge of camels and hard work led him to becoming the rich camel trader of Babylon, while also repaying all his debts. So ended the tale of Dabasir, the camel trader of old Babylon. He found his own soul when he realized a great truth, a truth that had been known and used by wise men long before his time. It had led men of all ages out of difficulties and into success, and it will continue to do so for those who have the wisdom to understand its magic power. It is for any man to use who reads these lines. Where the determination is, the way can be found. So the key lesson is that this story isn't just about paying off debts. It's about the power of accountability, the courage to face your own mistakes, and the determination to overcome hardships. Dabasir's journey reminds us that true freedom comes not from escaping your troubles, but by confronting them with free spirit and an unbreakable will. If you have ever felt burdened by past mistakes, remember, the soul of a free person doesn't give up. And if you found value in this story, make sure to subscribe for more insights on personal growth and financial wisdom. I'll see you in the next one. Also, if you have watched it until the end, then I have something special for you in the next video. Although this story is fictional, the next chapter reveals the clay tablets of Babylon, real artifacts recently discovered by archaeologists in the ruins of this legendary city that provide fascinating historical evidence about this story. So stay tuned for the next video. Thanks for watching.